Namaste. Thank you so much for being here. This is Hira. So in this video, I wanted to talk about a friend. She's actually an Instagram model. And, she's a lot younger than me. And I would say about maybe 10 years. Yeah, about 10 years. That sounds right. 10 years younger than me. And this is her primary job, is being an Instagram model. And it's funny how it started because I met with her a while back, last summer maybe? Yeah, I think it was last summer. And she had told me she had applied to art school. She had a portfolio already and she was really excited. And then the art school she really wanted to go to, it didn't take her. For whatever reason, they rejected her application. And she had good artwork. I've seen some of her work. I thought about going to art school before I went into chemistry. So, and it's funny that once she became really big on Instagram and social media, the same art school actually reached out to her for a collaboration. So she's really good. So she's a makeup artist, really a fabulous makeup artist. And she does her own modeling. So she'll do the makeup on herself and then she'll model and take pictures and then she'll post them on at least for me, I only use Instagram, but I'm sure there's other social media outlets that she uses as well. But what happened was that she's had a couple of posts where she's sorry, I've been gone for so long. I just needed a break. And it got me thinking how our passion, what excites us and something that we're also good at, in my case, aviation, can become daunting at times, So instead of lifting us higher and us flowing with it, having fun with it, it actually starts affecting our mental health. It starts to drain us. And it was interesting because I know this friend and we're not really, really good friends. I would say we're more acquainted. So but it's funny because I'll look at her Instagram and I'm what your life, the life you live is so different from Instagram. And when we were talking, when I met with her, I was so how does this work? Because this is her primary source of income. And for me, as I'm a total nerd, and I'm old, I don't really do social media that much. I'm very limited in the social media outlets. And she was telling me, so she'll post and then makeup companies reach out to her and she'll test their makeup, or she'll have collaborations with other either photographers or other models, and then she has to get so many clicks, and then for I forget 50, one company was 50 clicks and then she gets paid so much, another 50 clicks she gets paid so much, and then I think sometimes they'll put commercials on her videos or something, and then she gets paid. I don't really know. So but there is that pressure that she needs to make content, right? Not only make content, she needs to maximize her clicks, right? And it's funny because I was talking to my brother about this and he was yeah, that makes total sense. He's so she needs to figure out what content is working, and then she needs to make content that people like, and then she needs to maximize her clicks. So what my friend does, she'll stay up till 3-4 in the morning because doing her makeup, and then she'll make the pictures and then she'll post it, and apparently she gets the most clicks at night. I don't know, is it maybe that it's an Instagram thing? I don't know, whatever, right? So it's so interesting because I'll look at her Instagram and then I'll look at her life and I'm but this isn't you, yes, the artwork is beautiful and it's stunning and very creative, and again, it's not me, I'm not a makeup person, but I can appreciate it from afar, but it's not who you are, and it goes back at my last video about the masquerade idea, of authenticity, who are you then? And I look at her Instagram and I'm but this is a fake image, right? And I'm not criticizing her, I'm not saying she's good, I'm not saying she's bad, I'm just saying it was just something that it just came up as I was meditating on the idea of how our passion, or something that where the creative juices flow, and then all of a sudden these juices stop flowing, right? And then you feel an empty shell. Or you, in my friend's case, and she had the awareness that I need to step back, I need to take a mental break, or I need to go and do something else because this is becoming too much. She was feeling the pressure of maximizing her clicks, or like trying to make content all the time, because we're all human, right? So what started out as something that was fun also, became an avenue for her to make income. But then, sometimes we lose ourselves in it. I remember at my last aviation school, there, like, my instructor, he was great, wonderful, so I appreciate him so much. He was flying with, I guess, like a pilot, a commercial pilot. And this commercial pilot, he's been a commercial pilot for like over 2 decades. And my friend asked him, like my flight instructor, that, so how long have you been away from general aviation? And general aviation tends to be more fun. Like, you have a smaller plane, you have more freedom. Like, you're not tied down to one of the airlines, like the companies, right? And this commercial pilot was like, yeah, he's like, I haven't flown general aviation since he became a commercial pilot. And I get it, because like, once your passion becomes associated with like income or money, or in this case like big corporate, then you feel hindered. I feel that in R&D too. Like, I'm a really damn good chemist, and if you didn't have all the red tape around me all the time, I could get a lot more done. Like, it's funny how, well, you think that, like in corporate at least, you think that you're promoting innovation, but really the irony of ironies is all these rules and all these regulations within a corporate lab hinder innovation, right? But the same idea, like back to my friend, is like, sometimes we start losing ourselves, right? Losing ourselves within our passion, when our passion, instead of, helping us rise even further, it allow even more creativity, even more juices to flow, even more like excitement or new ideas to flow, actually becomes like a ball and chain and actually weighs us down. So instead of flying like a bird, you're just like sinking to the ground. And I just wanted to bring awareness to that, to be, and again, it's the same idea of like awareness of yourself in the moment, and then also taking that awareness deeper and deeper. And so you're discovering new aspects of yourself all the time, and you're allowing yourself to be who you are in each moment, and not letting yourself like be tied to what the world wants. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the world, like for my friend, like in this case and her case, yeah, people love her, like her, like, very different, because she doesn't, like, each post has like a completely different theme. It's really cool. And it's cool to watch. Like, again, I wouldn't do this, not my thing, but it's definitely her thing, and she enjoys it and she's good at it. But to bring awareness to, like, what is it that you want? I know that, oh, this fashion trend might be in, or this eyeliner might be in, or gold makeup might be in, but is it in with you? Like, right? Like, in your world, what is in? You get to decide what you want it to be in your world. You get to decide what is fashion in your world. When we start following trends outside of us, then you lose yourself. That's it. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Then you are lost. You're just following people blindly, because the more you follow other people without being connected to yourself, you lose a bit of yourself more and more. And I feel like with my friend, this was happening, and then she had to step back. There's multiple posts, like recently she's having, like, where she had a lot of big gaps in her posts, where she's like, I just need to step back, because I think she's realizing that I am losing myself in my creativity. I am losing myself in my passion, where your passion is not coming from you, it's coming externally from you, and it is controlling you. So instead of you having fun with it, dovetailing with it, flying with it, soaring with it, it controls you and it brings you down. So you have to separate the two. And you know what this leads to? It leads to burnout. Rather you're in a creative field, or you're in R&D, or you're a data scientist, doesn't matter. When something outside of you starts controlling you, starts hindering you, and you need to just go through hoops, this is what burnout is. This is how you start feeling like life is really hard. Oh, this, like, it's just, as adults, you're living in an adult life, right? Where you go to work because you need to go to work, and that's fine. But what I'm saying is, you can bring presence, awareness, your breath, right? I love yoga. Bring your breath to your movements as you go through the day. Your breath is awareness, right? It's so powerful because your breath takes you inward into your body. So you can bring that into the present moment. Be aware of it as you go through the day. And maybe you are in a place right now where you are like, this commercial aviator where he feels like his passion for aviation is gone, right? Like he hadn't flown general aviation for over 2 decades. And now he's coming back into it and he's rekindling that passion. But for over 2 decades, like he didn't want anything to do with general aviation. And that's okay. We are where we are. But just remember that awareness is like the common denominator in life. You can't get away from yourself. You can't get away from who you are. The same way you can't get away from your breath. You take it wherever you go. You take yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs wherever you go. So bring that level of awareness into what you want, and then let who you are flow through, instead of the other way around, right? So it's so interesting nowadays, especially I see it with my friend that's an Instagram model. We let the world dictate to us what it is that they want from us, instead of the other way around. I am who I am. I want to be who I am. I want to be an unfuckable person. And then I present that to the world. And if the world likes it, great. And if they don't, great. You know what? You're not here to please other people. It's really interesting that how do I word it? We think that our worthiness, who we are, is dependent on other people's commentary. Or to simplify it, if other people give us a thumbs up, it's great. And if they give us a thumbs down, oh my God, our life is awful. We need to change ourselves. Hell fucking no. Someone gives you a thumb down, that's great. That is their opinion. They have the right to their opinion the same way that you have the right to your opinion. And it is your opinion that only matters in your life. You think that other people's opinion of you matter. When I left my last job at Temper, I remember it was a couple of weeks before I left, and I don't know what happened. I was talking to my manager, and I told him, I'm like, I am really damn good at what I do, and I don't need someone to tell me that. That's it. Sanctify yourself. Come into your own empowerment, and that feels really good, and that will fuel who you are. And rather someone likes you or someone doesn't like you, amen. It doesn't matter, because what you're truly wanting, every person is truly wanting, is to feel autonomous in the being that they are. To be like, I am good at what I do. I am damn good at what I do. And I don't need someone else to give me a thumbs up for it. I don't even need you to give me a thumbs down for it. What you're wanting is to get to a place, and I know my friend wants this too, where a thumbs up or a thumbs down means the same thing. Because who you are, it comes from you. You sanctify yourself. You step into your empowerment. No one can take that from you. In my last video, I was talking about being the captain of your own life. Like one of my previous videos, and that's what it is. It's like you are the captain, the first and final authority in your life. Accept it, own it, become it, live it, and let's see what comes out of it. It can only be good, because when you know who you are, when you have self-confidence, you have beingness, you have clarity, that's it. You don't miss your mark. When you release your bow and arrow, your arrow has to hit the bullseye. That's it. That's just how it works. And if you don't believe me, try it. Don't you like the idea of clarity? Don't you like the idea of empowerment? Don't take my word for it. Words are cheap. Words don't teach. Life experience teaches, So you have to experiment with this yourself. So with my friend, she took several breaks between her posts, and she's still in this cycle. She was taking breaks, and that's fine, because you need to find clarity, right? That's what you want to find. You want to find stable footing, and then you want to take action, because then that action is delicious. Then that action feels good. Then that action doesn't miss its mark. Then that action actually brings more creative juices. Whatever it is that you're doing, it brings more of it into your life. And with this commercial pilot, now that he's back in general aviation, I'm sure he's enjoying flying even more, in a newfound way. So just wanted to bring awareness to, I guess, the fake social media life and how it can drain you. And we don't need to, and we can enjoy social media, but we can enjoy it from a place of awareness, right? Where we take what we want and we leave the rest, and we don't need to push against anything, right? And if you're the one that's creating content, amen. Like or dislike, same thing. Who cares? Right? You do what you do because you enjoy doing it, right? That's it. Not because you need the world or someone to pay you for it or someone to like you for it. No, And even if you're in a field like this person that's a commercial pilot, you can still be a good pilot and have awareness, right? Like, awareness is not dependent on anything. Awareness is just dependent on awareness. It's really beautiful. Your awareness is dependent on, rather, you choose to be aware in this moment. It's always available to you. Your breath is always available to you. I remember I was in a yoga class, and one of my teachers, she was like, some yogis don't count years, they count breaths. That you have been granted so many breaths in your life. And all of a sudden, I remember sitting in that class, I had a newfound awareness of my breath. Because I was like, oh, I only have so many breaths today. Then if that's how you counted your days instead of seconds and minutes, right? Then you would bring more awareness to the actions of your day and to each breath. So I hope that this video helps you become more aware of yourself and your breath and whatever it is that you do. And hopefully that if you're in a creative field or not, that whatever work that you do is more fun because you're in it, because you have presence in it. So I hope this helps. Until next time, Namaste.